Welcome, everyone, to the NoDQ.com live recap of Monday Night Raw for October 27th, 2025. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I very much appreciate your viewership and support. We have Saturday night's main event coming up this weekend. This was the final build for that. Shout out to Building Nexus, who sent in a $2 super chat just to say, LOL PW Insider. Well, there you go. Building Nexus, making a joke here at the expense of PW Insider. Let's get to Raw, which was in Anaheim, California, a city that I've been to many times in my life, being from Los Angeles. I attended the 1999 Royal Rumble there, several WWE events. By the way, Building Nexus was referencing Santos Escobar reportedly being at Raw. He wasn't on the show. We'll see what happens with that. That was apparently a PW Insider report. We had Jey Uso come into the ring for a promo to hype up Saturday night's main event, his world title match with CM Punk. He did his encore. Crowd loved that. He started to talk. He said he's had a bunch of people in his ear. He said he doesn't give a damn what anybody thinks about him because it's just him. It's the 4 letters, 1 word, and before he could say anything else, CM Punk, Jey Uso's opponent, made his way to the ring. Punk did his own encore with Cult of Personality. He apologized for stealing Jay's bit, but then said that the 4 letters, 1 word is actually Punk. He said it's no secret that they're friends and it's hard to lace boots against him. However, Punk wanted to know how far Jay will go. Punk said he will do whatever it takes to become champion. And Jay responded by saying he'll show CM Punk who the best in the world is. 4 letters, 1 word, yeet. And that was the segment. There was really nothing to it. It was just, we got a show on Saturday. We get the 2 guys in front of the fans. They say a few words. Even by Punk standards, this wasn't anything special. He was good. CM Punk is next level on the mic, but nothing I would really say you need to go out of your way to check out. It was a very standard promo segment to build up the match. Shout out to Building Nexus, who took that little dig at PW Insider, and Building Nexus actually said that he was referencing Cody because PW Insider had reported that Cody Rhodes was going to be at Raw, which I'm glad he wasn't, because Cody's not a Monday Night Raw guy. He shouldn't be on the show. And I don't need to hear him saying, what do you guys want to talk about? I'm so sick of that. I'm at the point where I hope Drew McIntyre wins, but I'll believe it when I see it. We had a backstage segment with Judgment Day, and Dominic feels that general manager Adam Pearce has a vendetta against him because he has to face Penta or Rusev at Saturday night's main event. And he asked Balor and Judgment Day what they're going to do. They said nothing. Dominic's on his own. They got other business to deal with. And that led to Penta versus Rusev, Intercontinental title, #1 contenders match. And when it started, I'm thinking, okay, what is this going to be, a DQ or something? And they're going to turn it into a triple threat. Well, it was a competitive match between these guys. Rusev got the advantage for a while. He sent Penta into the steps, but then Penta avoided the accolade. He hit the Penta driver. Rusev kicked out. Then they traded shots, and all of a sudden, the Americanos interfered, all 3 of them. And Rusev managed to fight back, and then Penta came in, but El Grande Americano was saved from the Mexican Destroyer. and there was no winner here. Match was thrown out, but you know what that means. More on that in just a minute. Shout out to Dave Scheffler, who sent in a $2 super chat, says, Kabuki Warriors will get the titles from Flair and Bliss. Well, we don't know if Flair and Bliss retain the titles. I haven't talked about that match yet, so it could be Kabuki Warriors getting the titles from Bayley and Lyra. Stay tuned. But yeah, I think there's a good chance Kabuki Warriors get the titles at some point with their momentum that they have right now. I do agree with you on that. Now, backstage, LA Knight cut a promo after losing the Battle Royal, and he said that he did come up short, but he has never known how to quit, and he's just going to keep going. Then we had the Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed venting to Paul Heyman about the Battle Royal, but Heyman said, instead of focusing on 20 guys, they should be focusing on one, and Heyman revealed that he set up Braun Breaker versus LA Knight. We had a video package for Asuka, which was pretty cool because it was her 10-year anniversary since she joined WWE. Very nicely done, as always. Then Finn Balor and Judgment Day went to Adam Pearce. They wanted a tag team title rematch after losing to AJ Lee last week. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, of course. And Pearce said that they're already busy. They got to deal with Sheamus. And JD McDonough stepped up for the one-on-one match. We then had Nikki Bella versus Roxanne Perez. Match was all right. I feel like Nikki is a little off, not up to speed, but it was decent. Roxanne wanted the handshake and slapped Nikki instead. And the match was very back and forth. The crowd was doing the dueling chants, so they were into it. But of course, Raquel's out there, so it's kind of like, okay, here we go. Before the match even started, I thought, okay, Raquel's going to interfere, and then after the match, it's going to be 2-on-1, and Stephanie Valkyria, the women's champion, will make the save, and then they'll set up a tag team match. And guess what? It went down pretty much how I just described it. We did have Raquel doing her interference, cheap shot when the referee wasn't looking. She got on the apron, which is every single match with Judgment Day. It's so boring at this point. And Roxanne tried to win with her feet on the ropes, but the referee caught her. Nikki got the upper hand and tried to finish her off with the rack attack, but Roxanne was able to counter the rack attack, and she pinned Nikki, not Necky. What am I? Who said Necky? I'm forgetting. Was that Nikki Cross saying Necky? I don't know. But Roxanne Perez did get the win over Nikki Bella with the Pop Rocks. And then, of course, post-match attack, Stephanie Valkyria comes out there, and they set up the tag match for next week. Yada, yada, yada. Pretty boring if you ask me, but, that's how they do things. Then we had the Kabuki Warriors confronting Lyra Valkyria, and they were saying they should have been in the championship match. And after they left, Bayley had a pep talk with Lyra. The tag team match for the women's titles was confirmed for the main event spot. Then we had Jimmy Uso confronting Jey about the Battle Royal. When Jey tossed out Jimmy, he was mad because he helped Jey. And then later they faced off again, and basically Jey apologized to him, and they ended up hugging. But yeah, it feels like something's up here. We'll see what happens at Saturday night's main event. We had LA Knight versus Braun Breaker in a singles match. LA Knight started strong, but then Braun Breaker did the running the ropes with the clothesline. Then Breaker sent Knight to the outside. He did a running shoulder tackle. He got him back in the ring, and then LA Knight started to make his comeback. He did the superplex. Then, here we go again. Bronson Reed on the apron, the old apron interference deal, distraction. LA Knight, of course, stupid babyface, as he always does, goes after both guys. Then he gets Breaker back in the ring, and he went up top for the flying elbow, but Braun Breaker did the kip up, and Knight adjusted himself in midair. However, he immediately got hit with a spear. 1, 2, 3 victory. LA Knight takes another loss. Obviously, Braun Breaker's being pushed to the moon. I think we need the LA Knight heel turn. I mean, they could be turning Jay or Jimmy, but it really should be LA Knight that goes heel. He badly needs it at this point. Match was pretty good, though. I will say that. Just the predictable interference, which is really getting tedious. Then we had Dominic Mysterio, speaking of predictable. So Dominic's backstage acting like Americanos acted on their own, but Pierce was having none of it. And he made the triple threat match for Saturday night's main event. So there you go. And I don't expect Dominic to lose this one, just because I feel like he's going to be defending against John Cena at Survivor Series. Next up, we had JD McDonough versus Sheamus. Pretty good match here, although once again, very predictable with the interference. Finn Balor's out there. Who's producing these shows to have match after match after match with the heel on the outside interfering? Like, do it one per show, but when you do 3, it just gets very boring very fast. Now, you had the Shillelagh out there, so I'm thinking, okay, the Shillelagh's probably going to play a role in the finish. You had JD doing the 450 splash, springboard moonsault, but then he started slapping Sheamus, and Sheamus did not appreciate that, and he busted out a Razor's Edge. He did the 14 beats. Finn Balor saved JD from losing by putting his foot on the rope, and then stupid babyface Sheamus goes after him. They do this every single match. It's so boring, but Indie Fan says it well, sums it up nicely. They don't care. They're swimming in Saudi and Netflix money, so we can get every match standing on the apron from the heel, the babyface chasing after him, and it's really tedious. Sheamus ended up taking out Balor, and then he got JD in the ring. After JD attempted a dive, Sheamus caught him, and then Sheamus went up top, but Balor was able to use the shillelagh while the referee wasn't looking, and JD hit the Spanish Fly and got the 1-2-3 victory. Pretty big win for JD McDonough. Sheamus still has his crap music, so I'm wondering what was up with that report from a few weeks ago that said that the wrestlers were able to get their songs changed. Well, you would think Sheamus would get rid of that crap that he has, just saying, if he really had a say in it. Shout out to Dave Scheffler. What's your call on the triple threat Saturday? Well, as I mentioned, I think Dominic retains, and I could see Penta taking the fall in that one since Rusev lost the other week. Penta can take the loss, he'll be fine. And when all else fails, they can always get Penta and Rey Fenix back together as a tag team. So Penta can do a few jobs here and there. But yeah, I definitely think that Dominic will retain in the triple threat, even though the triple threats are designed. Well, sometimes they're designed because you want to have the champion lose without him taking the fall, which I don't think is the case here. And then sometimes the triple threat is designed so it looks like the champion is going to lose and the odds are stacked against him. In this case, it's the latter. All right, next up, we had Adam Pearce meeting with Maxine Dupree backstage, and she does want her rematch with Becky. However, she needs to make a call to a friend to make sure she's prepared for the next match. I don't know if this means AJ Lee or if this means Natalya. Remember, Natalya and Maxine were working together. Is Maxine going to go to the dungeon? I don't know where this is going, but they're stretching this out. Not sure when AJ's returning. We'll see what happens with that. Then we had Charlotte and Alexa Bliss backstage, confronted by the Kabuki Warriors. And once again, they said they should be in the title match. And Charlotte and Alexa said they would be honored to face the Kabuki Warriors. The only problem with this is it kind of gave away the end of the main event. Like, why tease Charlotte and Alexa versus Kabuki Warriors? Obviously, Kabuki Warriors confronted Lyra and Bayley earlier in the show, but still, like, you tease this and it kind of feels like Charlotte and Alexa are retaining. We also had the men's tag team champions, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. I almost said AJ Lee, telling Adam Pearce that they want challengers. And then Balor and JD approached them, and Pearce said they had a lot of nerve after cheating in the match with Sheamus. But Styles and Lee, they wanted the match, and it was made official for next week's episode of Raw, which will be in New Mexico. And I expect Breaking Bad references if they want some points for next week's Raw. And they're going to need them after this week. Main event, Charlotte and Alexa versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And another interesting point, Matthew pointed this out in the chat room, another thing that perhaps gave away the main event. The Fireflies were out for this one with Alexa Bliss out there, although sometimes the fans do the Fireflies with their phones when they're bored with the match. But this was probably a tribute to Bray Wyatt. I hope it was, because they had a good match here. This was, to me, the most interesting match of the show. And it was very back and forth and competitive between the two teams. You had Charlotte kicking out of the Bayley to belly. Then Alexa and Lyra came in. Alexa hit the Sister Abigail. Bayley broke up the pin. Then Lyra hit the Nightwing to Alexa, but Charlotte saved the match for her team. Then Charlotte and Bayley went at it again. Charlotte put on the figure eight. Lyra stopped the tap out so Bayley would not give up and end the match. Then Alexa Bliss came off the top with Twisted Bliss to Lyra. And then Alexa and Charlotte hit the double natural selection. Charlotte pinned Bayley. Champs retain. I think it was the right call. Then the post-match, Kabuki Warriors attacked them, lay them out. Bayley was there, though, to defend Lyra. Kabuki Warriors stood tall to end Monday Night Raw. And that should be a really good match. Kabuki Warriors versus Charlotte and Alexa. Maybe they'll save it for Survivor Series. We'll see. I think that would be a good one for Survivor Series. All in all, I thought Raw was okay. It was kind of a filler show, though. I have to say, for the most part, if you skipped this Raw, you really didn't miss much. It felt like, okay, we got Saturday night's main event, which isn't even a PLE. We got Survivor Series, which is still over a month away, and we want to get through Saturday night's main event first. So it was kind of a throwaway episode of Raw. I'll go 5 out of 10 because of the main event. The main event, I think, was the one match that is worth checking out if you missed Raw. Everything else was okay. I was getting a little bored with the multiple outside interference and predictable outcome scenarios. So that brought it down for me a little bit. The Jey Uso, CM Punk, even with Punk out there, didn't really do much for me. Kind of just a throwaway segment. So yeah, not that interesting of a Raw this week, in my opinion. Despite them being in a packed arena in Anaheim, I felt like it was a little lackluster. And that's it for this week's recap of Monday Night Raw. Check out NoDQ.com for all the latest news, rumors, opinions, so on and so forth. And we got the No DQ review coming up. We'll talk more about perhaps outcomes for Saturday night's main event and maybe some scenarios for Survivor Series. We'll see what moderator Colin Andrew has for us. And shout out to Building Nexus, who sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, think the Raw tag division needs the Usos? I do. I am a fan of Jey Uso as a singles wrestler, even though he has his critics. But I think that they're stronger together than apart at this point. And I'd like to see LA Knight turn heel and maybe feud with CM Punk, change things up. We got to get some fresh blood in the main event scene for the title. And, Gunther's going to be coming back. And I just feel like Jey should be in the tag team, boost up the tag division a little bit. Even though Jey gets the great reactions, he's not the youngest guy on the roster. And I think at some point you really got to start building towards the future. And I know LA Knight's not a good example here because he's 42, 43, but I still think there's some mileage with LA Knight as a heel. I don't know what else they can do with the Usos as singles competitors, especially Jimmy. I prefer them as a tag team, and I guess we'll see what they do for Survivor Series. I mean, I'm still thinking it's going to be Roman's team with the Usos against the Vision, but who knows? I really don't think they're going to do the Wyatts and the other guys. I can't even think of who they are. That's how undeserving that match is, because I'm just totally blank. The Wyatts are feuding with who? Legitimately blanking out. You know what? I'm getting up there. I'm in my early 40s now. Thank you, MFTs. See, Michael Wayne knows. He is quick. He's fast. He knows this stuff. I'm getting old, and I couldn't even think of the MFTs for a minute. That's how unremarkable that group is. And it should be a traditional Survivor Series match. Definitely not a match that should be in War Games, in my opinion. All right, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You're witnessing my old age kicking in here in real time, which will be fun. Imagine me 10 years from now, I'll be forgetting more. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your week, and I will see you guys next time for the No DQ review. Say yes to No DQ, and I will see you all next time.